the time, there's something going on. But over the last 4 years, we've made extraordinary strides, and over the next 4 years together, we will turn the United States into the unrivaled manufacturing superpower of the world. We've been through a lot together. They've done everything possible to get in my way. They've treated us very unfairly, disgracefully, with what they've done to us. And despite what they've done, no administration in the history of this country has done more in the first 3.5 years than we have. Whether it's rebuilding our military, all made in the USA, whether it's the biggest tax cuts in history, whether it's the biggest regulation cuts in history, ANWR in Alaska, the largest field perhaps in the world, that Ronald Reagan, going back even before Ronald Reagan, no president could get it approved. I got it approved, and now it's potentially one of the greatest sites in the world, should be the greatest site in the world. So many different things we've done. We've done so much. What we've done for our vets, and you're a big vet state. Ohio loves its vets, and what we've done for our vets. Choice and accountability. We got two things they've been trying for almost 50 years. Choice. Veterans' choice, how about that? We got that for you. So if you have to wait online for 2 days or 2 weeks or 2 months, and they had to wait 2 months sometimes. If they had to wait online, they don't anymore. They go outside, they get a private doctor, we approve it, we pay the bill, and we take care of our vets like they're supposed to be taken care of. Just got a 91% approval rating. VA just got a 91% approval rating, highest ever, the highest it's ever had. And accountability, we have people that we're so scornful. They had hatred for our vets. They were treating our vets badly. Our vets have to be treated great. But you couldn't fire them. They could be sadistic, they could be thieves, they could be anything. You couldn't fire them because of civil service unions, et cetera, you know. Couldn't fire them. And I got the accountability, VA accountability. Now you look at them, they don't do a good job for our vets. You say, Jim, you're fired. Boom, get out. That's the story. We actually terminated over 8,000 people that were not treating our vets well, and they were there for a long time. That sounds a little bit cold, but the truth is they got to treat our vets well, right? So they have to do it. But we got accountability and we got VA choice. But to achieve the vision that we've been talking about for so long, we must finish the job and drain the Washington swamp once and for all, and we're doing it. For years, left-wing politicians smiled and looked at American workers right in the eye and took advantage of them and lied to them. They took your endorsements, they took your money, and they took your votes, and they did nothing. Then they turned around and inflicted one corrupt betrayal of the American middle class after another, whether it was NAFTA, TPP, the horrible Korea deal, the ridiculous Paris Climate Accord. How's it working out for Paris? Not so good. And China's entry into the World Trade Organization, which is probably the worst of all the deals, if you want to know the truth. That was where China signed that, and they went up like a rocket ship. And they violated the rules like nobody's ever violated them before. In fact, they're considered a developing nation. And because they're a developing nation, they have advantages. Well, we didn't accept that. But for years, they accepted that. And by the way, Joe Biden supported every single one of those horrible, disastrous sellouts. Under this administration, those days have been over, and we're not going back. We're respected again as a country. You know, we're respected again. You may not feel it, although I think you do. You may not see it. You don't read about it from the fake news, but this country is respected again. We don't let people take advantage of us, including our allies, who took tremendous advantage of us. Tremendous. Our allies took tremendous advantage of us, both militarily, where they don't pay their bills. We protect them. They don't pay. Like Germany, we're reducing the force. They don't pay. They're delinquent. I say it all the time. They're delinquent. They got to pay. You know, we protect Germany from Russia, and yet Germany's paying billions of dollars a year, billions and billions to Russia for energy. So I say, what's that all about? So we protect, and they pay money, and we protect. So We don't stand for things like that, but we have many other things. I could stand up here all day long and tell you things that you wouldn't even believe. To fully restore American prosperity, we must stop the radical left-wing movement that would destroy our country. They want to impose $3 trillion of new taxes on American families. They want to ban fracking, which will demolish your state. It will demolish Ohio oil and gas jobs. They want to rejoin the disastrous Paris Climate Accord, where you'll pay billions and billions of dollars for the privilege of getting ripped off by other countries and inflict a socialist takeover of the U.S. economy known as the horrendous Green New Deal. Was conceived by a young woman, AOC plus 3, I say. AOC, that's a real beauty, isn't it? She knows as much about the environment. Do we have any young children here? As that young child over there, I think he knows more. And she certainly knows nothing about the economy. And if they ever had their chance, you would find that out, and it wouldn't take very long. You know, Venezuela was a very wealthy country 20 years ago, one of the wealthiest. Per capita, one of the wealthiest. Tremendous oil reserves, everything. Now they don't have food. They don't have water. They don't have medicine. They don't have anything. Same thing could happen. Same or similar ideology. They also want to throw open American borders, give free taxpayer-funded health care to illegal aliens, defund police, abolish ICE, abolish borders, no more borders, and abolish basically the American dream. This is Joe Biden. And does anybody really think he's strong enough to stand up to these ruthless, vicious people? You look at Portland, you look at what's going on in Seattle. These are the people that you're dealing with. If I didn't send in the troops, if I didn't send in the great people from Homeland Security, you'd have courthouses and post offices and everything else burned down, blown up. And we may send in something else because you know what? They've been rioting now for 70 days and the mayor thinks it's just wonderful and the governor has no idea what she's doing. I've never seen people like this. Remember in Seattle, where they took over a big chunk of the city, Seattle, and the mayor said, it's going to be a summer of love. And I said, she's just kidding, right? Isn't she? She wasn't kidding. But we were all set to send in the troops, send in the people that we were going to send in. And what happened is amazing. We told them, and all of a sudden the police went out and they cleaned it up. But that place would still be occupied if we didn't get involved. Same thing with Minneapolis. Minneapolis was a disaster. After 5 or 6 days, they were going to lose that whole city. We sent in the National Guard. They took care of things in about 1 hour. Remember the scene of them walking down the street, firing the tear gas? Now you're not even allowed, if you're looking at the other side, you're not allowed to use tear gas or pepper spray. You can't use any of that stuff. They can use Molotov cocktails and horrible things on you, but you're not allowed to do anything. So the police didn't want to have anything to do with the convention in a great state, Wisconsin, Milwaukee, for the Democrats. You couldn't use tear gas. You couldn't use pepper spray. You couldn't use anything. Think of how ridiculous this is. And you won't be able to use your guns because they're going to end your Second Amendment as sure as you're sitting there. But the proud people of Ohio will not let that happen. Together, we will preserve, protect, and defend our American way of life as long as I am president. Thank you.